This is the Comfort Inn in Tacoma. It was recently purchased by Lakewood, Tacoma, and Pierce County to serve as emergency shelter for the homeless. Here's Lakewood's Tiffany Speir to talk about it.
Comfort Inn was part of a larger process by the Pierce County Council to establish a way to end street homelessness by the end of this year. And so Comfort Inn is a purchase done by multiple jurisdictions to try to answer that need. And it is essentially closed as of now. The sale is closed, and they are doing a very quick thorough cleaning of the hotel in order to open it up again as a shelter for families and individuals in the month of November. The conditions for entry, I think, are really you get contact through our police department or through any other social services providers here in Lakewood, and then they refer the person over to the structure on a daily basis. And then once the structure is full, then there is a discussion about where else someone might be housed for that evening. But until then, it's the discussion happens on the street or wherever they find the individual, and then they're sent over by referral. There is an ongoing team that is with Lakewood Police Department now with representatives from Greater Lakes Mental Health Care Center that are kind of the first outreach to those that they may come across on the street. And so when there's an issue there, the first question is, does this person need assistance right now with housing? If so, then there's the conversation about where they might be housed, whether it be with LASA, which is another service provider here in the city of Lakewood, or now with this Comfort Inn, maybe it's someone that needs to go there for several days. Otherwise, the city of Lakewood has a long-standing relationship with Greater Lakes and with LASA to provide housing and referral services elsewhere. There's a number of shelters in the city of Tacoma where Lakewood clients have historically been referred to. Now that there is an increase in homelessness in City of Lakewood as well as Greater Pierce County because of COVID, the City Council is looking at other opportunities to create additional shelter beds, either within or near the City of Lakewood, and it all depends on budget negotiations and opportunities as they arise. Permanent supportive housing is, if you break that name down, it starts to make a little more sense. So permanent, meaning it's not a temporary emergency situation. Supportive, meaning the people involved are needing some sort of assistance from social services organizations or local government, and then housing. So the idea here is that people who, whether mental disabilities, substance use disorder history, any other reason, mental health situation, they need the type of housing that is provided subsidized and also supported with government services. And there is a shortage of that in Pierce County. There's also a shortage of rapid rehousing opportunities, meaning people that find themselves homeless for whatever reason, they just need that extra step of help to get into the door of new housing, and then once they're there, they can stabilize themselves and their families and move on. So permanent supportive housing helps a specific population that needs that permanent assistance. And then rapid rehousing is something that is kind of that gap filler for those that find themselves homeless and just need a little extra help. Pierce County does an annual point in time count where they check and see how many people they can find on any particular night in a homeless situation. And related to that, in 2020 and I believe in 2021 as well, they also were asking about where are you from before finding yourself homeless here in Pierce County. And the percentage of people that were coming from outside of the county was actually very low. It was people within the county, staying within the county. And even when increased services have been provided, that's remained the same. So the data isn't bearing out the concern that people are coming from outside Pierce County or outside Lakewood to find these resources that may be available. What has been recognized by scientists, psychologists, and governments across the country is that housing is step one to help somebody recover from whatever situation they find themselves in, including substance use disorder. If you are worried about where you're going to lay your head on a night, you're not going to be worried about items 2, 3, and 4. That's going to be your concern. Once you have the stability of a bed and a roof, then there's discussion and the ability for you to think about what other issues you may need to resolve. And in addition, if you have a permanent place, an address, then the ability to provide services to you as someone needing them is much easier than if you're transient, not knowing where you're going to sleep on any given evening. So the other issue is that it's important to remember COVID has exacerbated people's mental health issues. And whether it's because of money, whether it's some other reason they don't have medical assistance, a lot of self-medication happens through alcohol or other substances. And so some of the people that are experiencing substance abuse, it's because they're self-medicating for a mental health condition. Getting them in housing, again, can provide some stability, some sense of security, and provide an opportunity for people to start thinking about what are those other issues they need to resolve.